Hey guys, so here bringing you another video and welcome to an episode of Challenge or Spectate, and I think what we're doing is a really good idea. So if you've been watching the channel for the past few weeks, you guys will have had an ongoing theme of the channel that Senna AD carry. It's to me a little bit of a divisive pick. That some people think it's the most overpowered thing, some people think that like what the hell's the point. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, but it's because of personal experience is why I'm in the middle, because I have not, myself, in solo queue, seen a good Senna AD carry. Like, I'm sure the players are fine, but I've not seen a performance on Senna AD carry in my own solo queue games that have made me kind of go, oh, snap. Like, you know, you see it with an Aphelios will pop off, a Lucian, a Vayne, you're like, damn, dude, they're carrying. I personally have not seen a Senna do that. Obviously, it's a good competitive pick, pro play pick, because the idea, it's a damage with range that has supportive qualities, and if you build a team comp knowing that, it can work quite well. Obviously, the weakness in solo queue is you're not building team comps for other players. But what I thought was a good idea was, we're going to watch the best Senna player on EU West. So this player, worth noting, is the second best Senna in the world, and the best EU West Senna player. They are currently in Grandmaster, and they main Senna. They main Senna, then Lucian, and they play AD carry, obviously. I want to see what they do. I want to see, you know, do they get kills in lane? Is that what they're going for? Or are they not interested in going for kills in lane? Like, how does the dynamic work? So level 1, big fight happening, starting W, straight away the aggression level is incredibly high. Fight is popping off, First Blood comes in with the Karma. So that was a bit, you know, crazy. But worth noting, because somebody like, oh, you just picked potentially a snowball performance. When I was looking at this guy's match history, vast majority of his games, he gets really fed in. Like, really fed on Senna AD carry. So I was like, alright, I'll just pick one at random. So that's what I did. So, yeah. So the Talia playing a bit too aggressive, we're trying to get level 1 poke, gets punished for it. But obviously that's the point, is we're in very high rating, we're in Challenger, Grandmaster MMR here. You make a mistake like that in this rating, you get punished. If that was a lower rating game, camera please don't go to random things, thank you very much. If that was a lower rating game, maybe that Talia wouldn't have got punished. People like this Karma and Senna, they instantly saw the mistake, so they instantly go aggressive. That's like a lot of people always say to me, what is the differences between low and high rating? That is arguably the biggest difference, is when people see a mistake in high rating, they instantly charge for it. They instantly make the mistake a big mistake. So far, you know, they do early aggression. By the way, the W level 1 take on Senna, I don't know if that's what they normally do, or is that what they was just doing because of the level 1. Talia's still level 1, by the way, now hits level 2. Good poke just to kind of maintain pressure for now. But obviously, people, they are quite low. Senna, although, has that heal that, you know, a normal AD carry doesn't have, let's be honest. Worth noting, gank coming in. They probably are dead. Good gank by Nunu, and boom, Senna's dead. Again, no escape without her flash. You know, that's just the type of champion that she is. Potential dive coming in top lane. We may as well watch it, and maybe not. Maybe we go back to it now. So they are going to dive, and Elise repels, and they do get the kill, and Maud survives. So nice little dive there. Again, Elise is the queen of diving because she can reset the tower aggro by repelling. But yeah, worth noting, Glacial Augment for Senna. That is the standard because she doesn't benefit really off getting crazy attack speed. Obviously, the champion just is very slow in attacking, and she's more of a burst AD carry than an attack speed AD carry. So you go lethality items, and Glacial Augment with your high range that you eventually get can slow people really effectively. That's kind of the idea. So that's why they do it. But yeah, so clearly already hasn't been a dominating lane performance, even though they got the early aggression. The Misfortune has definitely way more lane priority than the Senna, and I can say from my own personal experience, I would say that is true. I don't really think Senna has much lane priority into any AD carry, because yeah, we've obviously played with a lot of Sennas over the last few weeks, and I don't really recall a Senna ever having lane priority over any AD carry. Like, I've even seen Senna lose to Kog'Maw in lane, but I don't think that's the point of the champion. I think she works incredibly well with, like, jungle pressure. So if your jungler is willing to camp the bot lane when Senna's in bot lane, I think that's what Senna's good with doing. But obviously not every jungler is going to do that. So the misfortune of the opposition team is opting for the Doran's stacking. So obviously Doran's stacking is both a good and a bad thing. It gives you incredibly good strength in the early game. It actually gives you something that a lot of people don't think about. It gives you tankiness as an AD carry in the early game. Like, remember that each of these Doran's items are what, giving you 80 health? 80 health times 3? That's a lot of health for an AD carry that normally wouldn't have, what, 240 health? An AD carry normally doesn't have a bonus 240 health just randomly. Really nice gank, by the way. Kill for the Elise. So that Talia did not expect that, but to be honest, not many people would have. So that was nice. But yeah, it gives tankiness for an AD carry Misfortune who also wants to win lane. It gives her damage. Again, I don't know if I was an AD carry player, I don't know if I personally would do that build, because I don't like the idea of investing that much into your early game. I like scaling into the late game and getting your items ready on the go as early as possible. So I'm not a big fan of that build myself, but I do see the benefit from it. It definitely works if you win lane, obviously. So the poke coming through, again, good damage. Like there was a bunch of damage. Elise coming for another gank. So literally, what did I say earlier? Elise maybe's dead. It survives because of the level up. Wow. But like I said earlier, the Senna actually has to be careful here. Probably dead Talia. Yeah, died. That Talia's positioning is a bit iffy. What did I say earlier? Senna works incredibly well with jungle pressure. If the jungler it just is like, I'm going to keep going bot lane, it works really well with Senna because obviously she has a root. She gets a nice kill there. So really, I'd say the MVP ability, from what I can see so far, is her W. By far. Like, obviously, the Q is good for poke. It's very high range. It gets higher range, I think, as the game goes on. But most of the pressure that we've seen, most of the kills that have been made, is her W. Like, she even took W at level 1 to try and catch the Talia at level 1. And that was, again, the W did that. So, that's a bit of an eye-opener to me. Possibly the Sennas that I've played with missed their W. And this one, you can clearly see, obviously being one of the best Senna players in the world, clearly hits their W a lot. So heals. Again, nice thing to see here as well is this Senna is prioritizing healing with her Q a lot. I'd actually say at least 50% of this Senna's Qs have been healing her Karma and herself rather than doing damage on minions or the enemy team. That's a bit refreshing. Talia's probably dead here again, by the way, so she burns flash really early. And what I think this, honestly, again, this is high rating, but the Talia just doesn't respect the damage output that the enemy team has. So this game, at least takes that kill. This game might be a bit of a weird one to show because the Senna is arguably getting fed, not due to the strength of Senna, but it's due to the Talia being disrespectful in the fact that like she's just not respecting, I can die right now. But as I mentioned earlier, yeah, maybe this game she's getting fed because of the Talia, but if I just rattle off her KDAs over the last few games, this Senna, 9-2-10, 17-6-12, 7-2-15, 11-2-10, 13-3-16. So her last 5 games, her KDs are absolutely insanely strong. So it's not like it's an outlier that, oh, she's having a good game. No, she's getting fed in most games. So obviously, for her being Grandmaster and that, the pick has to work. And that's why I thought it was worth doing a high rating spectate video on Senna AD carry. Because at least now, in my eyes, I'm like, right, let's see it working. But also worth noting, Senna has had more jungle priority, obviously has had kills. Notice the farm. The Misfortune is actually slightly ahead in farm. So arguably, the Misfortune still has lane priority, even though the Senna's had kills, ganks more, and all that. So, yeah, I don't know. But that's what I'd say the common denominator with Senna doing well, and I think maybe I've cracked it, is you need the jungler to go help Senna, because that is a really good link. Senna has the root. If she can land it, it's a free gank for a jungler, and you'll probably kill things most of the time. If your jungler ignores bot lane when you've got a Senna, then I don't think she's very strong. I think that is the common denominator. Now, will Senna ult across the map? No. Doesn't go for the ult. Interesting. Elise in top lane. Now we're back in the 2v2. Now, what worth noting is because the Talia is now 0-4, potentially the red team bot lane is just now too far ahead. Let's be honest, if they land a decent combo, they will just one-shot that Talia. Most likely. She's only level 4. She's 2 levels down to her opposing support. Let alone, the Senna AD carry. Look at, again, the poke damage, I will say, is impressive. So, that's good. That's very good. Obviously, farm is still about even. Muramana first item for Senna. So obviously building into that. Is it Muramana or Manamune? Which order? So it's Manamune and then it scales into Muramana. And then I presume she'll be building lethality pretty much solely. Like we mentioned earlier, there's no point building attack speed on this champion. I don't even think she benefits from it that much. And the champion itself is more about burst. She is more of a, you know, spell casting AD carry. The Q does damage, the W does damage, and then the ultimate over the top. And then the occasional auto attack of when you can suck out the soul. I think that's kind of the strength of the champion, from what I can tell. But worth noting, on the patch notes preview of the next upcoming patch, it does look like they might be completely butchering Senna AD carry. So it is worth noting. Basically, it's something to do with the souls. That right now, her chance of getting souls is lower as an AD carry already, but apparently it's going to be a lot lower in the upcoming patch. So it might completely get rid of Senna AD carry if that's the point that why people are playing it, is that when she gets all these souls, she scales well. I'm not sure. If people don't care about that, then maybe Senna AD carry will be still a thing. But yeah, I'm not really sure right now, if I'm honest, if she'll stick around or not. So getting some tower plates. Again, at least still in the general area. Talia only level 5. She might be dead here. Getting herself caught. And there you go. Again, we said it earlier, this Talia, I don't know if this player is auto-filled or something. I actually can check if it's worth it. But it just seems that this player is not respecting the damage. And yeah, it's not good to see in a way in this rating. So this player, there we go. I have found the answer to why this is a problem of this. This player is a one-trick Xerath player. And I presume for some reason that the pick might have got banned this game. Can I check that? I might be able to check that. I will find out momentarily. It wasn't banned. So that for some reason they're a pure one-trick Xerath player and they didn't want to play Xerath support. They played Talia instead. So that might be why. So they just don't know the survivability of Talia because they only play Xerath. So there we go. At least we found out, because there usually is an answer to bad performances. And I guess that is the answer to this one. So what I'd like to see is, well, a couple things really. Will they push for more kills, mainly on the Talia? Will they look for a kill on Misfortune? Will, you know, Senna as an AD carry, by theory, is good at team fighting. Naturally, because she's got a pretty good AoE. Again, good. So this, okay. So what's standing out to me of this Talia versus, the Senna versus ones that I've been having on my teams or even the enemy teams, this one is, I'd say the word is, way more active. Constantly looking to do things all the time. I think that's what may be the difference, is like the, you know, if you want to say the CPM of this Senna is really high. They are constantly harassing, not giving an inch, harassing more, auto-attacking, W, attacking the tower, we'll back off, then we'll look for a Q in a second. It's constant. So it's the constant barrage of just damage, potential roots, the heal on top, so any of your poke damage doesn't really matter. Add all that together and it's really obnoxious. I think that's what it is. Maybe the ones that I've had on my team, they're a bit more chill. Oh, I'm just going to kind of chill in lane, just farm a little bit and all that. Maybe that's what you can't do on this champion. Maybe a normal AD carry will roll over you if you're being passive on Senna. The way you have to play her is be overly aggressive. And obviously, like we mentioned earlier, jungle pressure does definitely help. So if you do have a Senna AD carry on your team, maybe gank it a lot. Not even just for her benefit, but for yours too. As an AD carry, she's very good at setting up ganks with her W, like we mentioned earlier. Not many AD carries have a route. That's potentially an AoE route, but obviously Senna does. But what I would say, like, we're watching this, I'm seeing it more. This is one of the first ever solo queue performances of a Senna doing well that I've ever seen. She does get caught out there. Ignite comes down for the Talia straight away. They're looking for their maybe first kill. There's the ultimate. The Talia flashed as well, by the way, but she doesn't die. Talia even ulting. Very weird mini-map look there, by the way. Again, the mini-map there, unfortunately, the replays are a little bit bugged right now, but that's just the way that it goes. But what I would say as well is that, yeah, we're watching a decent performance on Senna. Do I think this Senna is doing anything that support Senna wouldn't do? No. I think support Senna is arguably better. and boom, Talia makes another mistake. So what I'd say this Talia is also the Senna is very good at doing is maximizing on the mistakes of the enemy team. Now, I don't know, at level 1, do normally Sennas take W? I thought they took Q myself, maybe they take W, but you know, they notice the mistake of the Talia at level 1, so they instantly W her, they get the kill. Any mistake that this Talia is mainly making is on. Like, the Senna is ready to attack, which, you know, that could just be the player is doing really well. Again, Misfortune makes a mistake, instantly punished. That's the point. Instantly punished. So, yeah. So, as a summary so far of watching this, I can see why people play it more when they're playing it in the correct way. And the correct way, and again, another dead Talia there, the correct way is aggression. That is how you play this pick. All out aggression. I'm not sure even if she's dead here. Let's see. So he does get 1 kill. He even barriered because he's got the spell book. She's probably dead. Double kill for the Twisted Fate, arguably. Boom, double kill for him. Meanwhile, in top lane, the Aatrox has popped off. Again, Aatrox at the moment is insanely strong as a champion. Ask any decent top laner and they will tell you that. He's insane. You know, I know you shouldn't always compare pro play and solo queue, but for top lane, top lane's a bit weird because it is the isolated lane in 1v1s, usually. And yeah, Aatrox is a massive priority pick in pro play right now. Massive priority pick, at least here on EU West, for top lane as well. He's very strong. You know, especially when he pops off. It's very hard to stop that champion. Anyway, so yeah, first big item after her Muramana buys a Yumu's. So lethality. Man, she must have had a lot of gold because I don't even think she had any lethality component, but she bought it straight out. Worth noting, by the way, another thing with the Aatrox thing, Mordekaiser, a lot of people right now are deeming the most obnoxious, overpowered top laner in the game. And yeah, this one got absolutely crushed by an Aatrox. So, yeah. So yeah, lethality item. Again, I don't know if Yumu's would be the first thing you buy every game. Probably, because like we said earlier, one of the weaknesses of Senna is her lack of mobility. Well, having a lethality gives you a bit of movement speed, which obviously is a really nice thing when you don't have much mobility. Obviously, if you're having an absolute pop-off game that you do not see yourself ever dying, then maybe you could go a, Drakthar or something first. But that's even if she wants to get a Drakthar. I could see an item, by the way, that this champion will build would be Edge of Night. Senna ultimate over the top. Doesn't do a lot of damage. Yasuo, really nice outplay there. Misfortune getting a bit caught in the back line. Aatrox now in the big mix. So Mordekaiser, I think, he did steal. Mordekaiser's taken the Aatrox away, which is smart. As long as he can survive, which he should be able to do, they will kill him when he comes back. W misses from the Senna. Aatrox now probably still going to end up dead. Senna picks up the kill with a higher range. So there we go. Ace for red team. And yeah, so that's good. Again, I'm thinking here. The benefit of Senna AD carry over support Senna. If she's strong, that long range attack obviously will do more damage. So that, I guess, is the benefit. This Senna is quite strong right now, item-wise, so her damage should be higher than, most people in the game. So when she needs to get that one big auto attack off, it's high range, she can get it off pretty easily. But that, for example, Twisted Fate is not a very strong 1v1 champion, not really. This one's got a Rod of Ages, which isn't a crazy combat item straight away. And this Senna cannot, an 8-2 Senna cannot take on a 4-1 Twisted Fate. If that was a Vayne, a Lucian that was 8-2, I can guarantee you right now that Twisted Fate would probably be dead. So that's one thing I'd say. That's why I don't think it's the best, solo queue pick, because it's not incredible at solo killing things, solo carrying. That's not what it's for. Aatrox early ulting. Actually, it might be a mistake. Mordekaiser, however, not in the mix right now. Does have teleport up. Dragon's in contention. Aatrox over to the right. Blue team take up the dragon. Mordekaiser seems literally not interested right now. They're going to be on the back foot, the red team. The enemy team, obviously, blue team did get it. Senna doing a bit of AoE damage. Random DC by Talia, but she's not even in the fight right now, I don't think. And the blue team take the fight. Mordekaiser continuing to push. Don't know why. he didn't come down. Obviously, he was a bit low health. Maybe that's why. But yeah, a bit of a weird play going on. Obviously, we did see a DC from Talia. Hopefully, she comes back. If she doesn't, then that's not good. But obviously, the enemy team definitely has some strengths to them when they can get going. You know, their Twisted Fate has got decent strength. Their Aatrox is a beast right now. And if you combine a Misfortune Ultimate over the top, that's hard to deal with. So, yeah. Like, realistically speaking, of this team comp on Red Team, the actual carry of this game, who will most likely be trying to do the carrying and all that, is probably the Yasuo. Realistically. So, yeah. Hopefully we see a reconnect before the next thing. There are surrender votes from Red Team, by the way. Her own team, Senna's team, is looking to surrender, but they don't. I guess, thankfully. Gold lead is now over to Blue Team, by the way. And, you know, worth mentioning that there's a lot of rage quits happening in League right now. I'm experiencing them today on stream. I legit had 2 games back-to-back of rage quitters. Not making it up, not kidding. I promise you, 2 games in a row of rage quitters. So it is becoming quite a big problem. And maybe there's Talia rage quit. I don't know. Again, I'm still going to upload this video, by the way. It's not really the outcome that we would want. Obviously, her not being maybe in the end game. But I have learned quite a lot more about the champion, even just in lane phase. I've learned that in order to make this work, you need to play incredibly aggressive. Like, aggressive. And it works when it's aggressive if you're constantly harassing. So that's something that I've learned. Obviously, jungle pressure, I already knew Senna could very much use jungle pressure. And she uses it well, but again, that's the same as support Senna, if I'm honest. That's not an AD carry only Senna thing. So she's going to go back. Next item has completed her Mirror Mana, by the way. One thing worth noting with this Senna, it's like she only goes back when she's got a completed item. She just buys an Edge of Night straight away, which is, by the way, something that I said might be a good purchase for her. Why? We've said it multiple times this game. Lack of mobility. She is slow. She has no dash, no movement. So an anti-CC ability, or your Twisted Fate gold card didn't work on me, that I can sneak away. That's pretty good. Fighting top lane. Aatrox having a quite decent advantage right now. Maud's probably going to just try and survive, get away if he can. Doesn't look like he's going to. Karma Q ult coming through. Senna ultimate coming through. Mordekaiser might be able to get the kill now with the shield. Willie, he does get the kill. Really nice. That Senna shield obviously did help. Reconnected to Leah, so I guess, it might have been a rage quit. Who knows, but she's back now. And overall, that was an advantage. Well, actually, no, that was neutral. Both top laners end up dead. So they are maybe going to look for a pick any second. Maybe a cocoon. Here we go. Flash cocoon into the Yasuo Q with the Yasuo ultimate. Maybe a bit overkill, but the Twisted Fate will end up dead. Now the pressure will go. Windwall was a little bit weird by Yasuo there, and they might end up backing off. Again, healing is always nice. It is obviously weird saying an AD carry is healing their teammates, but it is obviously a thing with this champion. But yeah. So Nunu looking aggressive doesn't in the end. Worth noting, right now the Senna has 64 stacks, so that means she has a bonus 64 attack damage, 75 range, and 45 crit. Yasuo going aggressive, ending up dead. Senna with her long range Q gets the kill. Nunu now getting caught, gets W'd by Senna, and that will be a double kill for the champion. So yeah, she's popping off now. It's good to see. And again, one thing worth noting, just to make it clear to everybody, I like the champion of Senna. I think she's cool. I like how her kit works. My argument of like why I don't love the AD carry pick is because a lot what we're watching of this game, she does this job as support. Like, her W, to me, has been the most important thing that we've seen of this game. Like, the ultimate's obviously important, the Q's important, but the most important thing I've seen is her constantly landing the W route. She does that as support. That's not an AD carry thing, that's a Senna thing. The only difference of her actually playing an AD carry is obviously she gets all the gold income, so her damage output is higher. But is her damage output higher than, let's say, a Kai'Sa or a Lucian or a Vayne or a Misfortune? No, it's not. In a pure 1v1 right now, if you put the Misfortune against the Senna in a 1v1, arguably the Misfortune might come out on top. It wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, though, the argument to that is League of Legends is not a 1v1 game. It is a team game, and Senna is a team AD carry. That's the point. She is a team AD carry. It works well when your team's having a good game because you help your team. The ultimate can help your team. Everything, you know, she helps her team a lot. But that's why it's a bit... she's basically the Shen of AD carries in solo queue. It's a good pick in itself. It can do good things. But if your team don't do very well, you're going to struggle more playing the pick. Because, yeah, Shen is the same way. Gold-wise, by the way, the Senna's got nearly 2,000 again, so it might continue the pattern of this player only going back when they can buy a completed item. I wouldn't recommend that, by the way, but obviously it is a thing that we've always seen with these really good players, with these challengers, pros, grandmaster players. They farm constantly. They hate going back. Because if you're going back to go buy, that means you're missing out on farm. You're missing out on gold. So that is another thing that you guys can pick up from watching these higher rated players, is they never want to go back. They want to stay. They don't want to leave. Taliyah gets caught. Arguably, she got caught there because she was probably looking at the, like, maybe to go ward the Baron. Maybe they thought, oh, they're doing it. Nice W pick. Again, like we said earlier, the W is clearly the most important thing of this pick. Gets a nice thing. Senna ultimate coming through. Doesn't do too much damage, if at any. But again, the W lands again. Boom, another kill. Yeah, I've pretty much convinced myself the whole champion of Senna, her W is the most important thing by far. Aatrox ults just to run away, it seems. He might be looking for a flank, but there's no way he can take on the enemy team. Baron might be on the table now. Aatrox might be looking aggressive, but he shouldn't. Maybe getting caught. Auto attack nearly close to landing. Taliyah doing a bit of damage. And now they might go do the Baron. I'm surprised they didn't go straight there, if I'm honest. But they might go there now. Maybe not, actually, because the Elise does not have Smite for 47 seconds. And you don't want to try and do a Baron against a Nunu when your jungler doesn't have Smite. Unless he's dead. Alright, so what's going to be happening here? They are going to go reset Taliyah. This player legit only goes back when they can buy a completed item. So rapid fire cannon as her 4th item. One thing I will say, Senna as a champion, as an AD carry build, it's actually a pretty cheap build. If you think about it. Because like lethality items are pretty cheap. Compared to like, oh, you don't need an Infinity Edge, which is a really expensive item. Oh, you don't need a Triforce, which is a really expensive item. So yeah, she actually has a relatively cheap build. So that could be another benefit to Senna AD carry. It's a quick power spike. So it's a quick power spike when it comes to your items. And as actually the champion itself, you have to remember the champion itself technically has unlimited scaling. Boom, Baron's been taken, Aatrox in the mix. Mordekaiser fighting the Aatrox in the death throw. Watch Senna's positioning right, like safe. Completely safe in the back line, putting herself at no risk right now. W lands. Gonna maybe look for the Nunu. Misfortune right now. Does a bit of ultimate, then cancels the ultimate to try and get away. Triple kill for the Elise. They're having a good performance herself. And there is the game. So they surrender. People are leaving. But yeah, overall, I've learnt more about the champions. I'm happy I did this spectate game, if I'm honest. And I can clearly potentially see why I personally haven't seen a Senna do well in solo queue. Two things. Two main takeaways. One, jungle, I think, is incredibly important. If you've got a Senna AD carry, I think it's very important for your jungle to go down to that lane. It's got great synergy. Senna's W is great at rooting things, setting up ganks, probably more than most AD carries, like in terms of setting up a gank as an AD carry. So that's one. I think maybe my junglers, or when I've had a Senna against me, their own junglers have just been ignoring them. Number two is always do something. So this Senna in lane basically didn't let the enemy team breathe or relax. You know, sometimes we have a crazy team fight. It's like, right, slow down, go back and buy. You can have that kind of breathe out moment. It's like, oh, I can relax. In lane phase, the Senna never gave the enemy team a time to relax. It was, I'm going to look for a W, I'm going to look for a Q, I'm going to look for an auto attack. 2 seconds later, I'm going to do the exact same thing. It was constant. I think that's hard to deal with. And maybe, again, the lower rating you go, obviously this is a very good Senna player, the lower rating you go are going to be more relaxed Sennas of, right, I'm just going to play passive, I'm just going to farm a little bit, I'll scale as an AD carry. Well, no, I think in order to make the champion work, I think you have to play hyper aggressive, like almost Draven level aggressive in order to make it work. Because if you're not playing aggressive and the enemy team is allowed to play aggressive on you, then basically you're going to be treated as a support, not an AD carry. Because like, oh, they're playing passive, they're not looking to carry. So that's what I'd say. Interesting. I have learned more about it. My respect level for the pick has gone up a little bit. I am still waiting to see a pick on my own game, or whether it's on the enemy team or my team. I'm still waiting to see a good one, but at least I've watched one now of a solo queue game. Again, I've seen them do well in pro play, but pro play is different to solo queue. But that's going to be that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on the video. Let me know what champions you want to see in upcoming videos. I might record one more episode now, and I do know one of the things that people have been asking for, surprisingly, is a support episode of high rating spectate. So I will look for a high rating support player. I might look for a Leona game or something like that, because I think Leona's fantastic in solo queue. She might be getting nerfed soon, but I think she'll still be probably pretty good. But yeah, I'll look for a support episode now. I'll do one of those. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed though. If you did, throw a like on it, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.